Hello there, my dear and bright students. This is your teacher Shagufta Faisal, and today we will talk about one another very historical, very important and very useful invention, the telephone. So let's talk about the history of the telephone. Telephone is used to communicate with our loved ones and to communicate our family members or to communicate our friends or other people. The question is that how did ancient people communicate with each other? Before the development of telephones, ancient communication methods were giving some kind of signals, like a signal of fire or a smoke, right? And after that they started writing letters in a civilized world, letters by dove or letters by pigeon. There was a drum beating, and at the time of the British Empire there was a telegraphic communication. Now, when and where was the telephone invented? The British engineer called Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. One day he sang a note into a piano. The wires in the piano vibrated, then the sound hit them. They made the same sound. He could make wires copy sound. Next he wanted to make the sounds clear so that people could hear words. He made a type of phone. In 1876, he put up poles with wires fixed of them. The wires went all the way from his house to another house a few miles away. He spoke into this phone. The people at the other end of the wire heard what he said. After that, Bell started a telephone company. They put up poles and wires to link buildings to a telephone exchange. Soon towns had telegraph poles with wires crisscrossing the streets. These are the different shapes of telephone. Do you think that our world is changed after this invention? Yes, exactly. It enables you to have contact. Before, people had to rely on mail, which often took weeks. When the telephone was first introduced, only the very healthy could afford them. Eventually, the middle class were able to have them installed in their homes. It kept families connected. When an emergency was happening, people would not have any way of communication outside of the household. The telephone was a fairly commonplace in the 1930s in the United States by the end of the World War II. The first telephone call was distance call occurred in 1892 when Bell called Chicago from New York. Right, guys? So this was all about the phone, the invention of telephone, and how this invention has changed our life. Thank you.